Hello everyone, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to do a detailed tutorial and show you how to use the Happiest Holidays BetterPress registration set with foil and foil all of the layers. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you have missed the previous video, I have shared a look at this plate, and I also have videos looking at all the other products in my city holiday collection with Spellbinders. None of them are detailed tutorials. Those are more introductory videos. This, I feel like it's such an advanced product. I wanted to have a detailed tutorial. So the BetterPress registration set, Happiest Holidays, comes with a registration guide, and we will need the registration guide to foil the last layer. I should say that the Happiest Holidays BetterPress registration plate comes with 3 different plates or plate layers, I should say. There is a layer number 1, the one that foils Happiest Holidays. That's the one that I'm foiling right now using gold foil, and I'm foiling this on the Spellbinders Cosmic Sky cardstock. So that beautiful vivid blue, not the dark blue, not the indigo cardstock, but the nice and vivid blue. I'm using my Glimmer hot foil system, and you can see that I'm now just waiting for the glimmer to warm up the plate before I send it through my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine to apply pressure and transfer that beautiful foil onto the paper. So I was saying that the Happiest Holidays plate has 3 layers, or I guess I should say 3 steps, because technically there are more than 3 plates, but you will see that there are 3 steps. So step number 1, we're doing this now. Then there is step number 2, the foliage, and then step number 3, the berries. And the plan is, the idea is to foil to press all of these in different colors of either ink or foil to have a beautiful multicolored result. That's the cool thing about BetterPress registration plates, is that you can have one design, but you can have it done using different colors of ink or foil. Well, ink, BetterPress registration is designed to work with ink, but it certainly works really well with foil. So here you can see that I have foiled the Happiest Holidays plate. I do have quite a lot of overfoiling here, and before we move on to the next step, I want to remove some of that overfoiling. And I sometimes like to do that using Best or craft tape or any low-tech tape, really. I just gently place tape over any areas where there's overfoiling. I burnish it lightly over the foiled area, and this way I can pick up any excess foil or any overfoiling. You have to be careful when you do this, because when you do this, you can also lift up some of the foil from the actual design. So again, be careful. You can also use pencil eraser and erase the overfoiling using that. And that's actually the safer way to do it. But sometimes, if you don't have a pencil eraser, or, if the overfoiling is too intense, you can try and use Best or craft tape. So with that done, we can now foil our second layer, and this is the foliage. If we were using BetterPress inks, at the very beginning, we would have used the registration guide, because foiling process is slightly different. We're not using the guide, at least not just yet. So what I have here is I brought a card that I finished previously, and I looked at that card as a guide, and I tried to position the foliage in about the exact same place and use my finished card as a guide. The precise placement of the foliage is not as important. So if you have a little bit of, if it shifts a little bit to the right or to the left, or, up or down, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It will still work. So here I used a beautiful moon dust foil on this colored cardstock, and I just love the way this looks. By the way, one of the reasons why I love to do foiling with my BetterPress plates is because this allows me to use colored cardstock for the background of my projects. And you guys know me, I love colored cardstock. I love white. I love cards that are done on white, but that is not my strong suit. My strong suit is using colored cardstock. And for that, I can't exactly use BetterPress inks because they don't really work that well on colored cardstock. They shine best on white or light colors of cardstock, and they just wouldn't work on colored cardstock like this. So this is why I really love using foil with BetterPress plates, and especially BetterPress registration plates, because I can then create multicolored foiled designs. So here my Happiest Holidays is now foiled. If you want, you can now skip foiling the third layer, and you can simply use a pen, like a Sakura Jelly Roll pen, an opaque pen, or an opaque marker, and add little dots to create the berries on your paper. However, if you really would like to go all out and foil those berries, here is how you can do this. You can see that I'm at first trying to figure this out as I'm working, but finally I figure out what I need to do, and here's what you do. So first of all, for this step, you will need to use the registration guide. It is best to tape your panel temporarily to your work surface, and then tape your registration guide to the work surface as well. This way, it will just make things a lot easier for you. Things are not going to move or shift, and it's just going to make lining things up a better and easier process. So tape it down, and then you can sort of lift the guide up, place the berries plate under the guide. Make sure it is nice and aligned at your foil. I'm using opal foil because I want the berries to be white, and just tape each plate down. There are 4 plates for this particular layer. So 4 plates with the berries, and you just need to line every single plate down and tape it. You first need to line the guide with the foliage layer. And then once you line up the berries, you'll be sure that these will foil exactly where you need them to foil. At this point, my kitties woke up from their nap. They have now grown quite a bit, and they are now able to climb onto my desk. So they do that every single time whenever I'm at my desk, either crafting or working on my computer. I have 2 desks. One next to each other, and if I'm at my desk, they are on the desk. I have little cat beds on my desk, so they sit in those or play in those or sleep in those whenever I'm working. So they just woke up, and they want to know what I'm doing. So you are getting a little bit of the kitty cam here in this video. And you're going to see more of them a little bit later once I start doing some ink blending. It was the very first time for them when they've seen the ink blending, and they were very, very curious about the inks and the blending brushes. Okay, so you can see this is quite a time-consuming process because, you go back and forth, lining things up. You make sure you check everything and make sure that it's nice and aligned. But once it is aligned, and fingers crossed that this works, you're going to get a very beautiful result. So like I said, this is an advanced technique. This is not something that, beginner friendly, but certainly something that is doable, provided you have the patience and provided you have, the tape to tape things down. And mind you probably are not going to get this on your very first try. I didn't get it on my very first try. So please do not get discouraged. If something did not work out, give it another try, and hopefully you'll get a fantastic multicolored foil design in the end. So here is a look at the Happiest Holidays that I did here. I love it. You can see the beautiful colors, and there you can play with so many different colors. You know, this is colored cardstock. There are so many different colors of foil. You can mix and match. There's green foil, there's red foil, so you can have green, green foliage and red berries, or you can foil the sentiment in black. Lots and lots of options. I'm using now dark blue ink from Simon Says TM. This is Night. This is probably one of the darkest blue inks that I have in my stash. And I'm just adding some blue ink blending around the edges. I'm being careful here because I don't want any of the blue ink to land over the white foiled berries. I end up having some, and I tried wiping it clean, and it didn't really work for me. So just be careful, maybe use a smaller blending brush when you are applying the ink, or maybe do the ink blending before you do the foiling. Although I personally prefer to foil first and then ink blend. And you can see my kitty. This is my boy, Kitty. He is extending his paw and trying to help me to ink blend. I was also trying to make sure that he doesn't, lick the ink pad, because I certainly don't want him doing that. So I added the dark blue ink blending around the edges. I also used a black ink pad. This is the VersaFine Onyx Black. This is the same ink that I used to stamp the sentiments. And I just added a little bit of that black ink blending around the edges to darken the edges even more. And I just really love the result. I added this panel onto an A2 top folding card base made from the same Cosmic Sky cardstock. And then I just simply added a die cut banner. This one reads Happy Holidays, and this is created using a sentiment banner from the Christmas Cracker die set. I just cut it from red cardstock. This is cut twice from red. I added foam adhesive squares at the ends of the banner and then glue in the center so that there is a bit of a curve. And that finished this super simple, almost one layer card. I can never make one layer cards. I always have to add another layer. So this is as close to one layer cards as I get. So this finishes this video. This finishes this tutorial. I hope this is helpful if you decide to give the Happiest Holidays BetterPress plate a try, and if you try to foil it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.